Okay. So, limited material, as you'd expect from an endgame. Okay. So this is the position. It's white to move. Who stands better? If anybody. And why? Llama Lord, please. Please. Didn't ask for variations. Didn't ask for variations. No variations. All I'm asking is who is better. Without, giving a line. Just in general, who should be better? No, I mean, without, there's no white is better because he can do this. It's just Okay, so why is white better? But again, you can't use a line. You have to just tell me based on what's in the position right now. Yeah, okay, so white's rooks are better. Agree. Okay, whose minor piece is better? Bishop or the knight? Okay, so why exactly is the bishop stronger than the knight? Because, the knight is, it's pretty actively placed. It's deep. But yeah, so part of the reason why, in general, bishops are said to be better than knights is they cover more squares. So the bishop actually has a lot more scope than the knight. And in particular, you can see it in this position because the bishop can kind of watch over both sides of the board. As you guys noticed, there are pawns on both sides of the board. And the knight's a bit of a plotting piece. It's good at, attacking both sets of colors, but it's not very good at kind of switching sides. Okay, so we established that white is better. Good. Okay, so what should white do? What should white's goal be? And if you say checkmate, I'm banning you, just so you know. A word of warning. Rook's on the 7th. Yeah, okay, but something more in general. Queenside majority. 2 is equal to 2, so there's no queenside majority here. Pin black's pawns on white squares. Okay. That's a good goal, but it seems impossible to do. Aim for it. Okay, that's impossible. Right. So so I'm kind of trying to get at what pieces should white trade, if any. So should white try to keep all the pieces on the board, or should white trade something, or trade everything, or trade most things? Ideally, what should be left on the board? Ideally, bishop versus knight. Okay. So yeah, exactly. So you want to try to trade both sets of rooks. Okay. But that actually requires, a fair bit of reasoning because you might think in general that, simplifying the position to bishop versus knight might give black more drawing chances. I mean, it's a reasonable assumption. It's not correct, but yeah, the truth is white has the most chances to win this endgame if he simplifies it to bishop versus knight. Okay. So we've kind of said that white's better. We've acknowledged we want to try to trade both sets of rooks eventually. So the question is, what should white do? Right, but every situation is different, follower. So some bishop versus knight are good for bishops. Some bishop versus knight are terrible for bishops. It really depends. Right. So all of you guys who are saying rook takes e8 are actually making a tremendous mistake. Rook takes e8 is actually a bad move, because now you're giving black this open file. And notice that rook d7 is impossible because of knight e5 fork. So all of you guys who are suggesting rook e8 and rook d7, bad, bad, bad. Now this is very easy. Very easily, black's much better. Rook c7, knight takes c4, rook takes c4, rook e2, and now black's close to winning. So don't rush in. Don't rush in. You guys have to make sure that tactically your ideas work. Okay, so we got the 1201 ICC lag. I'm going back to initial position, but it's going to take a few seconds. So yeah, if you didn't notice that, then I mean, can't help you. But that fork is the reason why we can't take on e8. So what should we do instead? It's a good idea, but you want to execute it slightly differently. So you want to threaten rook takes e8 and rook d7, right? That would be a nice thing to do. So the problem with that is this bishop is on a square where it can be forked. So we need to move this bishop to a square that's better. So what square is better? And CloudSat got the answer. It's bishop to b3, actually. Because bishop b5 actually doesn't help us with anything. Because since we're no longer attacking this pawn, black's free to trade a set of rooks and play rook d8. So take rook d8. And now you can play rook e8 if you want, but now my king is quick to get to the center. So it's going to be almost impossible for white to win this. But by playing bishop b3, you kind of keep your eye on f7. So that if take rook d8 now I can play rook e7 and hit f7 and a7. And now my bishop is still on this square. So, okay, so bishop b3 was played. Okay, knight f6. So now the knight is stopping rook d7. Okay, so now what should white do? Now what should white do? So he improved the position of his bishop. His rooks are in fairly optimal positions. What's left? Okay, so rook takes e8 is again no good because we're giving black this open file. So now this is very close to a draw because now your rook can't get to d7. Yeah, rook d6, I play king g7, and now black is better because I'm playing rook e2 and knight e4. So you're just helping me. So rook e8 is no good. King f1 is no good either because you're not going to be able to get out on e2, and you want to activate your king. So the right move is to activate your king by playing king g2. Centralization of the king is of utmost importance in endgames because in endgames you really have no fear of being mated because of the limited material, so your king becomes a very important attacking piece. Helps support your pawns, helps support your pieces. So white wants to get his king into the center as quickly as possible, and king g2 is faster than king f1. Notice that from g2 he can get to e4 in 2 moves, whereas from f1 it takes him 3 moves. And e4 is, one of the 4 central squares. So now black offers the exchange and offers a second exchange. So now we kind of already answered this question, but should white capture? And as we mentioned before, of course the answer is yes. So if rook c1, then black actually plays the move rook e7, and white can never win this because notice the king is cut off, and the rook defends the only weak point, and so I can just go king g7, king h6, king g7 forever, and white can never make progress. So the only way to make progress would be to check. Okay, so now we got this bishop versus knight endgame. Okay, so what now? Good. Okay, no reason to not get the king into the center. So king f3, king f8, king e4, knight c7. Okay. So now we are trying to beat back this king because this knight defends this square, and the idea is if white plays king e5, we'll play king e7. And then the king will not be able to advance any further, and we've kind of stopped him in his tracks. That's black's goal. Okay, so now we kind of finished stage 1 of white's plan, which is to get this bishop versus knight endgame. Okay, so notice that this pawn controls these 2 squares. This knight controls these 2 squares. So the king has a wall that it can't get through, right? So the king can't break through on the queen side. And notice that all these pawns are on dark, so the bishop can't attack them. So this fortress right here is impenetrable at the moment. So the question is, what should white do? And yeah, guys, when I mute my mic, don't worry about it. It's on purpose. It's not by accident. So it just has an auto muting feature when I don't talk. So don't worry about it. Okay. So the question is, what should white do here? And you don't have to talk about specific moves. Just talk about in general. What should White be trying to do here? What's White's plan here? And then we can talk about how to do it specifically.